Recording in progress.
Cool.
Ooh,
All right, man. Come at me. What you got? What you confused about?
a lot of things. Yeah. What's the latest? Hmm.
Nice haircut, by the way.
Thank you. It's time. It's time.
Yeah, man.
What's it called? Mm, what am I confused about? I don't know if it's confused about. I think it's more about what's the next thing to learn about,
Okay,
right? Because sometimes you just don't know what questions to ask. And that's kind of like in the place where I'm at of like,
for
I'm
sure.
sure there's knowledge out there. There's some things I want to learn. I just don't know what questions to ask or how to create that. And I was hanging out with some friends, basically a bunch of dads now, right? Like people I went to college with. And, they're in that next stage of life where they're married or having kids or on the next one. And, they were all talking finances and investments and golf. And I'm like, okay, I don't mess with golf. It's not my thing. But everything else they were saying was interesting. And I was like, okay, and they're talking about, big money. And I'm like, okay, how are you making that big money? Again, all these are like nurses, so they've been in the game for a while. So
Right.
they can talk about that big finance money. Um, so I'm thinking maybe that's a place to start, right? Like you can talk about finance when you have the money, right? So how do you talk about finance when you don't have the money?
Right.
Um, so now that I have some, I'm like, okay, let me start talking about it because I have it. I don't know what to do with it. It's just in there. Where do I put it?
Okay. Um, well, I mean, you're my best friend, so we definitely spoken about this on tons of different avenues of what you're thinking about doing.
Right.
One of them I know you're thinking about moving, and that could potentially leave an opportunity to get something out there, right? You
Mm-hmm.
could use one of these FHA loans to try to get property if that's something desirable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to start managing and renting property, right? Having tenants, learning that game. That's the beginning of like real estate where you could do something with some of that money for sure. You could do something like that. You could do the FHA loan. Um, if you really wanted to put like the least amount of money down, you can. But then the next thing would be how do you maintain that cash flow to make sure that you can pay the mortgage? And if you can start paying yourself from that, learn that arbitrage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. Because at the same time, the equity will go up, and depending on what these guys are doing, right? Some people might even go to the stretch rather of thinking like, let's take the equity that you will build in this property in, let's say, a year or two, assuming the property values go up, you can then take a loan on that, potentially go out and get another property. Um, and that's how you can start building this portfolio, right? Using debt. That's one way. Um, there's enough money there where you could put it in in just like an investment that could start paying you, let's say, anywhere between 8 to 10% on your cash returns. So it's in some cases it might be easier, but once you want to get that money out, if it's not a loan or you're actually, selling something physically in the stock market that's going to be taxable, then it's just kind of sitting there, right? As a nest egg. That could be another way to do this. You know what I mean? You could build your own business. You have enough of a skill set to do things, right? You can
Right.
set up courses, you can do a mastermind group. You have those skills already because you're an amazing educator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's an easy way to pivot as a side hustle, right? You've discussed wanting to get into like tech more, right? And building on that. And so I guess using that as a fund, right? To fund those educational activities, and then whatever profits you get on that, try to put that back into that, right? And
Right.
just build that as a business and think about it in that way, right? Um, and if you really put on that mindset, right, of wanting to run a business with that capital that you have, then that probably leads into um, setting up an entity, right? Using that and then figuring out how to use that business with the entity, with that as the capital, right?
Mhm.
You could also pay off some loans, right? You have some of these like horrible American student loans, right? From getting your education, um, which you'll never get that off unless you pay it off, right? And it doesn't look good, but when you're getting a property, they'll 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 understand, right? So that's not to say that you have to get this debt off, but no, this debt's there, and this is a monkey that will be there, right? And so you do got to do something about it, unless
Mhm.
you want to just like wait on the government expecting that you're going to get some sort of like student loan funding or something, right?
Yeah,
Um,
that's definitely not where we're at, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worrying about the government or waiting for them. I'm
You
like
know what I
putting
mean?
steps. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I like the idea of, like you said, right? Put some money in, build on it, and use that money to continue building on it.
Oh
That
yeah.
that makes logical sense, right? Because that way, it's like you're not just spending it; you're using it strategically, just like anything else.
Sure. And if you put on the okay, I'm gonna run this as a business, right? Like you're gonna build this side hustle doing, X, Y, or Z.
Mhm.
What you should do, right, is open up that entity, create that business account, and run it like that,
Which
right?
anemone, anemone,
Entity,
entity,
an
entity.
entity.
Amazing. Like
So
I was like an enemy.
LLCs, S corps, C
Uh,
corps, and then that's when we're like, depending on what you're doing, right, and what you're
yeah.
thinking about doing in terms of the business, that determines the entity, really, right? So if it's like your typical business that you should be running, and I'm like specifically for tax purposes, it is not a hobby, right? So you do have in your case, you do have this ability to be the bartender. You could
Mhm.
run something for that, right? Create a business just around that.
Yeah.
These courses that I'm talking about, that could be a business as well. Um, how you get paid in tech if you're working as an independent contractor. You're
Mhm.
getting 1099s. It should be in a business. Um, that would be the way to build this side hustle, and at the same time, save yourself some money on taxes, because I know last year um, you had a little bit of taxes owed, right? Let's
Mhm.
get
Yeah,
this business going, and you
yeah,
won't
that
owe the
hurt.
taxes, because I
Yeah.
can guarantee you, knowing what I know about you and your lifestyle with the library, what you're spending your money on and things like that for your education, you're setting up your classroom currently. That's all concurrent, right? To
Yeah.
your education of whatever it is that we're going to be doing with the business. We'll figure out what are the appropriate expenses for it. And instead of doing it on your personal, you'll be able to do this on the business. And with that, you'll be able to then take off these expenses.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? You're not
Mm,
gonna be able to take everything, all these expenses, no. There's certain things that are categorically acceptable, right? And a percentage of them, but like, that's the fine print. We'll get through that. But the most important thing is you'll be able to save because you have these legitimate expenses, knowing what I already know about your lifestyle. That is part of that. You just need to put it into the correct entity and
mm,
receive a benefit for it and run
right.
it like a business. You're a smart kid. You'll be able to get this off the ground and make some money with it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that's yeah, I think it's kind of like the next step of like, okay, is that what I want to do?
Right.
Do I want to start a business?
Do you want to hustle?
Yeah, that's side hustle, which I'm like, no, I'm
Or
looking for, I'm taking new opportunities, right? And I'm trying to see like what else I can do.
yeah.
Uh, Sweeney, Sweeney was talking to Sweeney yesterday, and he was saying, these are the prime money making years. Like now is the time to take opportunities as they come and just try and make the most, right? This is the time to
Yeah.
figure.
Oh yeah.
And so it's interesting. Another opportunity came up. I haven't told many people this because it's more of like, I don't want to put it out there unless it's really it. But I got invited to teach at USF. So
Nice.
they
Nice.
they hit me up, I think literally this week on Wednesday, and was like, hey, my director was like, hey, would you be interested? I'll pass you on to the hiring manager. The person before has to like medical leave. And I was like, sure, yeah, why not? Put me in. And so,
Congrats.
dreaming, thinking like, okay, like, and again, I've been to USF. I was like 10 years ago, so I recognize the name. I was like, oh, I know that professor. I had that professor. So right away, I email her and we connect. And so we had the interview yesterday.
Nice.
It was and it was nice. It was just kind of like a formal interview on Zoom, but it was also like super informal because we had that relationship. We knew each other. We've had classes together. I was that 19-year-old kid that didn't know much of anything. Uh,
Right.
Super green. So it was really fun. And if anything, it was, it'd be an adjunct position. I don't know, maybe like $1,200. I talked to another friend who's a teacher at USF. She's like, you'd make like $1,200, 15 maybe.
Mm,
I'm like, that's fine. Like a semester,
cool.
that's not bad. That's like fucking an extra side hustle that that could be. If anything, this is an opportunity to see what else is out there because the whole premise would be to be teaching aspiring teachers, and putting aside how jaded and burnt out I've been, I still provide critical input for these teachers. And it was, if anything, it was an opportunity. So I had the interview, went positive. I'll find out this weekend. And it's one of those places where I was telling Megan about it as well, and now you, that this is something I felt confident in. I'm excited about it, but I don't need it. It's like I don't need this. I
Yeah.
want to do this, and I can do this, and I can build on it,
Yeah.
but it's not something that's gonna break my heart if I don't get it. So just opportunities. So thinking about a side hustle, I'm like, maybe that might be a nice side hustle to kind of
Okay.
build more skills before I commit more money and time into something. This
Right.
will take a big chunk of my time and some money, but it could be another avenue. Be like, oh, is seeing myself as a professor of education, maybe that's something. Uh, so
Why not?
yeah, that's where I'm at. We'll see. I'll find out this week. I'll find out by tomorrow because I will have to teach in like 10 days. I was like, oh, okay. When do I find out if you guys want to? Because that means I have to learn the syllabus and
Hmm.
then change the syllabus. But again, it's one of those things, kind of like what you said, of like something I'm excited in. And I definitely, for the past 2 nights, I was like laying awake. One of those mindless nights of just dreaming and thinking, here are the things that I would do. And so that's fun. And I think that's, to me, the most exciting thing. Yes, bartending, I've done it. I love it. Um, there's going to be a party later for one of my friends, and I'm like, oh, I wanted to bartend. But then I'm like, hold up, that's a lot of work. Because I'm thinking of all the things that I would do, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not like casually making drinks with whatever's at hand. Sure, I've done that, but like I would actually want to do it in a very creative way, meaningful way. Get some supplies, do the Bevmo runs. So because I know that, I'm like, let me hold off, right? So yeah, I think for me, bartending again is, as much as I enjoy it, I don't think I want to make it a business just yet,
Sure.
because once you add money to it, once you make it a responsibility, it takes kind of the fun, not necessarily, but it may take the fun out of it. And so I don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
think that's something fun, creative, um, and a way of making connections with friends. It's kind of like with food, right?
Hmm.
Now, maybe that'll change in a couple of years. Maybe they'll change some time and I get another opportunity to bartend somewhere more professional. Sure, I'll do that. Yeah, so those are the kind of the two things that I'm thinking about.
If you can then figure out, are they going to be paying you as a W-2 or a 1099? More than likely W-2 some
Yeah,
way.
I would be an adjunct professor, so not a full time, part time. So I'm not even sure. Yeah, you don't get all.
Perhaps.
No, I will. Again, I think my first steps are just more the onboarding. Once I
Or
get through
no,
that,
yeah, for sure.
then I can be like, all right, how y'all gonna pay me? And it's
Yeah.
probably, and that's why I asked my friend Libby, who is a professor and mentor. And she teaches like every other semester, and that's why she was a good resource. And she's like, this is what you can expect for this amount of work. And it's like, great.
I guess ask her then if they 1099 or W-2'd her.
Sure, I think so. I mean, I love her. She jokes about it. She's like, I'm a retired old white lady. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't. Again, she doesn't need the money either. So she's again doing something she loves, and not having to worry about the money. So I'm like, okay, I want to get to that point. I wanna
The
get to-
reason I'm asking is because if it's 1099,
yeah,
um, then that's when you would need this entity, and you would need this entity like immediately.
1029 is what you said.
1099,
1099 versus a W-2
right?
for USI. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, 1099, I would need an entity versus a W-2. Okay, W-2 is. I think I remember you telling me that.
Because yeah, I mean, you're currently getting that, but I'm curious to know what are they doing, because it's not like full time like you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. I would like to know that. And if you could get paid as a 1099 and set up this business, then there you go. Now we're in business.
Right. Now we can use the money that I use to spend on the class. I can then kind of, get it taxed, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that'd be fun.
And then on top of that, then we can figure out how can we actually develop this, create courses around it, do something like that. Something to that effect. Get you doing something with it.
Yeah, because I think that was a fun part of the interview that I had with the professor. Helen, she did kind of let me know prior to it, like what we wanted to discuss. And it was around, what do teachers really need? Right? What are the most important things for teachers? And yeah, at the end of the day, that was like one of the big things for me. I was able to share is like they don't teach me how to do data in theoretical courses, right? Because I would be teaching a theoretical course with my own practice, and now they're starting to do practice. I did ask, like, so where are they in their career? Like, are they just starting, or are they at the end of it? And they're at the end of it, and they're just starting their experience. And I'm like, I remember that time period. I didn't understand how to do data in a meaningful way, right?
Yeah.
And how there is at the big state level, which you can't control, right? School site somewhat control, and then your own classroom, which is like, that personal control. And I think expanding on that and being able to share, like, okay, how, why, all the big questions around data, like what does that mean for you as a teacher? And then she took that and she was like, yeah, no, I totally understand, because like we don't do that. Yeah, this is all theoretical, but we need that practicality. So she did say, and I did feel, like I said, I did feel that confidence in sharing my experiences and my anecdotes of like all the things I have been doing for the past 7, 8 years. Um, you know, they need it. They need me. They're desperate and they need me. So this works.
I think that's also a book.
Um, like written book.
Your experiences,
Yeah.
how to take the data, utilize it, like in a book, not necessarily like, your crazy hardcover book that you have to write, but at least
Right.
put it together, and you could potentially sell that to other schools who might need that. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be a product. Because I know you have data. And you can explain how you're using it, right?
Yeah.
And if that's missing, then there you go, man. Then it's just a question of let's get that going.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. I think it's a big disconnect, right? Because I think
So
at least for elementary,
yeah,
there is no one way to track data. At least at the school sites I've been in, everyone kind of uses their own. They fight for themselves. They just try to survive. There is like text systems and softwares in place, but they come with glitches, no training. And so there's not a uniform data as you would expect in like a company like Salesforce and Google. Like they use one data and you learn it or you get out. Here it's more of like figure it out, whatever you bring, sure, it's good enough.
so that also sounds to me, that you need software. You need to make this as a software product.
Um, I
Ideally.
think I think there are already systems in place.
Sure.
Rather than create something, I would like to like use what's in place and develop that. That's my preference.
Use it as case studies.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. Like everything that I've used, I can say, this everything from when it started, because, it's different when you get something and then you're like, okay, use this versus when you build it. And then you're like, I understand it since I put the groundwork in it. And I definitely have data from like, I have data sheets from what people gave me and I don't understand them. And then over time, I've adapted them, I've learned them, and I've created my own so that it
That
And
sounds like a business, bro.
right, yeah, I mean, trying to provide what people need and just make it as simple as possible. And I think,
Yeah, hell yeah.
and it's kind of what I'm trying to do. um,
So under that framework, right?
right.
Do everything else around it.
Okay.
'Cause you could
Like that.
eventually develop a product with it, and you'll already have the entity to start being able to sell it. We'll put the website, what domain, try figuring out, and just run the business. That's
Yeah,
always fun. But get your product right and get your thing of what you're needing for these schools for everybody else as well.
yeah,
Use your experiences. I think you have something there, bro. So that's another thing you could use that money for.
yeah, yeah. No, you're kind of building the data sheets, and yeah, it makes me think of who would I reach out to and the friends, because it's kind of like it's a community effort. And I think one of the lessons is like give credit where it's due, and definitely all the data that I learned is like I've definitely picked up pieces along the way from
Oh
different
yeah,
people because I'm like could not do it on my own.
that'd be
But
cool.
yeah, no, I think that is something. And so I think it kind of goes back to like what the professor said. She said, you have a lot of practical skills and things. And that's what I asked, like, how much freedom would I have in changing this course? Not to say I'm going to change everything, because I literally just got this page yesterday. I'm not changing anything. I'm going to keep everything the same. But at the same time, it's like, the day-to-day stuff, right? The teaching style, right? This is the paper. This is who I am. I have to learn this. How am I going to assign something and be like, all right, we're going to read 3 articles? I'm like, I have to read 3 articles. I'm not doing that. So, we're going to cut back some things, while still honoring the class. So
Right.
fascinating.
That's cool, man. Congrats.
Me
Proud
too.
of you,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited. Like I said, I don't need it. I'm excited. And if anything, this gets me through the door. Right. And so it's like, hey, if I don't get this, keep me in mind for the next time. Or how can I be aware of future classes that might need some experience?
Right.
So yeah, either way, I'm excited to connect. And they remembered me. So it's like great. Because I was like one of like 5 brown people that like came up at USF. Again, that helps me. So it's like it's not a bad thing. It's just there's not
It
a
is
lot
what
of
it is.
men of color in elementary at USF. So hey, it worked out in my favor.
Right.
Yeah, and the bilingual, right? The speak of
Oh
the
yeah.
yeah, that's huge. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll find out by Monday, and then I have
Cool.
like 9 days to prepare.
And make a company if we need to.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be spending money, right? I may have to, borrow the car and spend some money on
Mileage,
books and gas and
expenses,
bus
yes.
pass and all
Food,
that.
entertainment,
Yeah,
travel. If you have to go to, conventions.
conference. Yeah, that'd be fun.
We got to go back to Austin for that damn convention center, that educational center,
Oh,
the lakes,
the lake, Campus Lake Austin.
right?
Yeah, that was those are just some nice classrooms. They didn't have anything in them, but they were like really nice classrooms.
All right, there you go.
Like, okay. So you're paying for the space, you're not getting anything, but you're paying for the space.
So yeah, dude, that is something you right there. We have something available. That's
Cool.
something we could pull the trigger on, and you
Yeah.
you'd get an immediate benefit, um, at least on your taxes, right?
Mhm.
And then just from an emotional standpoint as well, right? You're growing in that sense. You don't
Yeah.
have the responsibility of a company, and that's gonna suck, but
Yeah.
yeah, you'll deal with it. You'll be fine,
Yeah. It's fine. It's just another thing.
right?
Yeah. So we'll let you know, man.
Cool. What else?
So what else am I doing?
Have you
Mm.
you're doing the monthly contributions to your Roth, right?
Yes.
Checking that out.
I have that automatic, I think. So I'm doing it at the first of every month. I'm gonna
Okay.
cap it at 6,000 this month or this year, right? Because that's the max.
Yep.
For the so here's the thing for the annuity one. Wait, the
Mm.
403B one.
Yes.
So I told you about this last time. I finally was able to get my account set up, so I have like an X amount of money. I want to add more to it. So, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not necessarily happy with the place that I have currently because I haven't heard back from that person. One, I didn't reach out to that person enough to develop a relationship, and two, I haven't heard back from that person when I've tried to reach out, who's my contact person for North American or whatever.
Yeah.
So for me, that kind of says, okay, yeah, I'm not bringing in the big money, so maybe that's why I'm not as a priority. Two, if there hasn't been that kind of follow up over 6, 7 years, then like, what the hell? So I'm really considering maybe reaching out to that person that I just happen to know through college, and he works for a different equity place, 403B. And he and we talked extensively. I have his number. I'm thinking about building a relationship with him because I think that's what I need. I think I need that like importance. Kind of like you, we have a relationship where we can talk about finances, but we also have, a lot outside of that.
Oh no, yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to be like my best friend, but he's someone I can get to know, understand as a person. I can trust that, hey, every now and then I'm going to have a question about this. Where's this going to? How much can I add? What can I do? Because he said he did do more than above and beyond. He said, look, this is what you could do. You could just transfer your 403B to us, and you and I could talk, and we could manage it. And I'm like, that sounds a lot better than whatever the hell I got, because lady has not responded. So I'm thinking about doing that because one, I wouldn't really lose anything, right? So I guess that's my question. Between these two 403Bs, which one's better, right?
You have to look it up.
How would I go about figuring out if it's better? Because I already know for me, the relationship piece is important. Having a contact person is important. The nuance is, because I was young and naive, I was with this equity place first. Then this North American person came and was like, we're better. I'm like, come here. And then I did. And now Brandon is the guy that I know. And he's like, you should, this is an option. Same spiel, right? They're just trying to get the money. And I'm like, I get it. But how do I go about figuring out which one's better? Like, I just want you to tell me. That way I can just, okay, I don't, like, that's the thing. I don't know.
I'm thinking there's a few things running in my head, and that's what's going on. So one thing would be where can you transfer this to, and who does it, who works with the state, because I'm sure it's a list of people. So that'd be one thing, and know who you can and can't, and if you do, there's probably a penalty and something like that. So find that out, because you don't want to lose some money off of some bullshit just for moving the money, right? That sucks.
Yeah.
Secondly, would be of these companies that do work in that network, which will accept it. How much money do they have? What are they actually investing in? Once we have that list, we can go through them and we'll figure out who's who, right? Like who's got the most amount of money, how are they investing it in these different, like in their annuities, like what's the strategy, who's the manager, right? And then figure that out, because in the end, your money is being dealt with by a manager, and it's on their reins, not whoever the representative is. It's the manager. And so if we know how much money they have and what the manager's doing with that money, then we can actually decide like what's the better strategy for this based upon how much money you're going to be putting away into this.
Right.
So considering the fact that you're going to get this other job, right, and dependent on the fact of whether or not you're getting paid as a 1099 or W-2 employee, that will then determine what the hell can we do for retirement planning, right? Like you could potentially just say, okay, I want to take a portion of that money and put it away into your own retirement account. And so like if it's a payment where it's going through your 1099, we could set up something that's called a SEP. It's a self-employed pension for your own entity. And you could put up to like $61,000 in that, which is like going to be far superior than putting that away in just like annuities, right? So that's one thing to consider. Would you be better off putting more money into your own account as opposed to this pension account? Once we look at what the numbers are going to break out as to what you currently have versus if you continue for the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, what does the funding look like? Like those are the questions that we're going to be wanting to know to then determine, okay, this bucket's already getting filled, or there's this much already here. How much more do we need to get to what we want?
Mm.
Versus if we set up that other bucket and we just put it away ourselves. And if you have other high conviction positions, or we find other new strategies along the way, then maybe we put that money into that. Or just like the S&P 500, and you're passively putting it away. But it's another vehicle. It's another way of putting it away. And more than likely, right, the end goal is your retirement, right? That's what
Yeah.
these vehicles are for.
Yeah.
So would you be better served putting more money into your pension plan for your business, or your pension plan as a teacher? That's the
Right.
question.
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, because my CalSTRS is on its own, can't touch it.
Sure.
403B is that thing. And so just do my own pension, then like great, I can add more money to it.
Because you personally, right? This is all like you working as a person putting money away, but like you as an individual, you have your Roth account, right? Which that's what we just spoke about. And so you'll be putting money away into that. And if you keep putting money away and you keep getting the same growth that you've been getting, which I'm not, obviously promising, but yeah, you'll have $1 million in that account just there, right? If you're maxing this out from here on forward, right?
Yeah.
Guarantee you that we'll figure that one out. That one's not that hard. But like you also have this other bucket, and you could potentially use other buckets. That's kind of the point. And let's figure out the calculations. What's the best one for you for your dollar?
Okay.
That's how I would look at it.
Cool. All right. That's what we'll do. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the 403B.
Yeah.
Plus,
like if USF is paying you W-2, you're getting a W-2 for this job. Figure out what other benefits they're going to give you.
Probably not a lot. I think there's like a bus pass. not even a parking pass, just a bus pass. I'll ask. I see my friend a couple of days after, and she can give me all the information, and she'll tell me. Yeah.
Well, the sooner you find out if it's a 1099 or W-2, like if you could find out this weekend, Monday morning we can set up an entity if it's a 1099.
Okay.
That way,
yeah.
Once they tell you like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll give you this, and you already know that you're gonna get paid like that, then you say, I'd rather get paid like this. And then you can say, here's my entity. I'm working on getting the rest of the information, like the EIN number and right?
Cool. Yeah, no, okay, I could text my friend. That could be easy.
You get what I mean? You'll open it, we'll be able to set up the corporation, open up the bank account, like do all of that. We'll get it set up, right?
Yeah.
So that way you get your first check, boom, it goes into your bank account for your business.
Cool.
Then all right. Open up a credit card account for that business. You get what I mean? Like, it's just like, it forces a bunch of stuff to happen.
Right, because it's officially a business. Right.
It's a 1099. If it's a 1099, I'm telling you, I do not want you to file this shit on your Schedule C. Like, we are not going to do that.
So if it's a 1099, start a business.
We need to open up a business, and you're gonna spend maybe $2,500 to get these expenses rolling, to get this all running, right?
Yeah.
You'll save that in taxes, guaranteed.
So I will spend that, and then I'll get it back, is what you're saying?
And then some, yeah, because there's other stuff. There's more to it.
All right. Well, yeah, one step at a time. Let's send out the text, figure it out.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I can see the wheels turning. I'm like, for me, I'm like, it's too fast, but like, all right, I'll get there.
Yeah. Once we know that this is how the payment is, then dude, fucking, we gotta get moving quick.
But if it's a W-2, easy said and done. Don't worry about it.
Then we need to do the okay. Well, now what?
Yeah, if it's W-2,
we're gonna owe more in taxes now.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Hopefully not, but yeah.
Will, because your income will go up.
Just by a little bit, not even a lot, but yeah.
Another dude, 10 to 20K, your income's going up. You're gonna be moving brackets.
10 to 20K? No, I'm just getting 1,200. Like
Oh, that's it?
that's it. That's
For
it.
the
This is
whole thing?
yeah. I'm literally teaching 1 day a week.
I'm over here hoping that it's like a yearly. I thought it was
No,
1,200 a
no,
month.
yeah, no. This is literally like a stipended class because it's a minor 3 unit class, and my friend's
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna get 1099, brother.
it's like $400 a unit, so it's not serious. It's not serious.
Yeah. I think that's what's gonna happen. So if that's the case, then you need to consider more so if you're opening up this business, like legitimately run the business by creating a product, right? Using
Mm,
these experiences to do that. And I think that would be the correct and the proper way of doing it, right?
yeah,
Because again, I don't want you paying this shit on your Schedule C. Like,
yeah. No, I don't either. I don't know how that works, so no. Okay. Well, yeah. Now you know the critical information. Yeah, it's not. It's peanuts, man. It's peanuts. But like I said, they're desperate. They need me. So hell yeah.
Well, maybe you can haggle a little bit more. Hey man, right? Rice and beans have gone up, baby.
Fine the day before. Oh, by the way, it's the 22nd. I could use a couple more bucks.
Great. Remember that bus pass?
Yeah, I need a parking permit. Give me a parking.
Gym access.
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be a good one.
yeah. Something.
I demand gym access all
Oh,
year
that
round.
USF is nice. That correct gym is nice.
That's what I'm saying. You yearly access to the gym for
Yeah,
being able to teach once a day, once a week rather.
yeah. I teach one semester. I got full year access. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
I also want to stay in the dorms. I want to sleep over. I want the best room with a corner view.
Penthouse suite, please.
Uh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that'd be weird being on campus again. Man, 10, I would be teaching 10, 19-year-old people, or no, they're a little farther in, 20, maybe 20, 21.
I mean, if you could, if we're playing with the idea of being able to get that housing, then look at you. Look at your lease documents and see if you can sublease it.
Just
Just
pedal
really
outside,
be making money. Really be.
pedal outside for those students. Or which one do you need to house? Which one do you need to play crash? No, okay, that would cause wait. No, I would never trust students. Never.
No, not students.
Oh, it's just random
Just,
adults.
just, just no, an actual adult. Yeah, you want to here? I'll rent you this whole place. $7,000.
You get
Well,
free water,
meanwhile,
free light.
meanwhile, you're over there in the dorms, like.
Oh, this place. Yeah, no, we can't do that.
Well, check your lease.
No, yeah, we can't. I saw it. It's already in there. No subleasing. No, but it's fun to play around with the idea. I get what you're saying.
Just for shits and giggles.
That's for shits and giggles. Yeah.
That's all. What else?
Mm, that's all I have capacity for
Okay.
now.
Yeah, man.
Cool. I'm gonna go to the restroom.
All right.
What up, bro? We're still
Need to get
recording.
I stopped the recording.
I thought we're done. I want to eat.
Oh, I got some apple juice. I just wanted to ask what's going on with San Francisco.
I don't know.
You know?
What about it?
Is it worse or better with the homeless?
Or better? Worse?
It's worse.
Yeah. Nothing's changed.
And there's less people though living in the city.
Yeah.
Is it like noticeable?
Uh, We'll see. We have a party tonight, so we'll see. You know, usually a good party is like when you can gauge like how many people are out of town, how many people are here.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see. I mean, I think about it, like all my friends are pretty much dipping out, right? I think there's
Mhm.
like maybe like one or two that are left. And if they're here, they're in the East Bay. Like, you know, AJ, he's the East Bay. You know, my friend Talia, she's about to move, so she's like, okay, she gone. And then who else is around? Yeah, and then you know, you make new friends here and there. So it's like, yeah, for the most part, everybody gone.
Yeah. Well, at some point I want to go up there. I was craving La Taqueria yesterday, like horribly.
Hey, my birthday's coming back up, so
No.
I'm thinking about doing I don't know, same as last time, just a nice party, just a nice little like dinner party. Bring some fucking food. What we did last time was perfect. My chicken wings are even better now. Fucking on point.
You want me to make anything?
No, just buy some food, man. Just fuck it. Just buy that pizza again. What we gotta do is we gotta make sure there's enough vegetarian left over because there wasn't a lot. I don't think there was.
That was a meat fest.
Well, most people ate the vegetarian, and it was like that was for Megan. It's like when she came back, there wasn't any. So I was like, oh shit. So remember that. Um, and then yeah, I was probably gonna do that. You know, something like that, low key. Because again, not a lot of people are left, right? Um, thinking about the Tracy's, they're my team. They'd come.
Yeah,
Probably.
no, for sure.
I mean, it's also weird too, because like COVID times and monkeypox and all this shit, and you know, so
Monkeypox.
it's like fucking a. So yeah, thinking about doing that. Yeah, a CD, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know I have to check when, but um, I think Chucho Valdez is playing at SF Jazz. I'd like to see that, but
Oh,
maybe I go up there before. I think I'm pretty sure it's before, or it could be in the end of September. I don't know. I gotta check. Anyways,
yeah. Last I thought you said we were coming like September 20th or something.
yeah. So that's Chucho then. I think it's the 23rd.
There's a good ramen place right by there. It's
By
bomb.
SF Jazz.
Yeah,
Which one?
I don't know. I just
It's
know.
a new spot.
I don't know about new, but within the past 5 years, I've been there.
Okay, I'm down.
SF
Do you want to
Jazz.
go? Do you want to see Chucho?
I mean, I like SF Jazz. I like the place. Sure, why not?
Would Megan be down?
Probably.
Okay. All right. Make it a deal. Today. I'll see what Jess doing. She's in school again, but we'll see.
No Joe Ramen Tavern. No joke.
Do you remember that ramen spot? That was like Beatles themed.
What?
The Beatles. It was themed
Yeah.
with like the beat. Dude, that spot was
That
amazing.
spot's been closed and remodeling for years, man. Like every time we tried to go, it's closed or they're remodeled or they're open,
Wow.
but then you walk by, no one's there. I know exactly the place you're talking about. That was where I had my first legal drink,
Yes.
and they also had yakitori. That's how I knew.
Yes. Legit.
I didn't even know what the fuck yakitori was until later in life, and my friend taught me. He's like, "Yo, this is yakitori." I'm like, "I've had this before." What the fuck?
Yes.
It's on
Chicken
like
hearts.
it's on Clement, and there's like it's on the cuts, Ikaku ramen or some shit.
Oh, that spot was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. Fucking random shit too.
I'm glad my dad got to experience that spot.
Oh,
'Cause,
you got to take them? Great.
yeah, and he loved it. He was like, "This place is cool." Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah, not Genki. Not
Mm-mm.
Genki.
No.
That's Ichiraku, maybe Ichiraku. Could it be Ichiraku?
That sounds about right.
It looks so fancy. Let's look at the pictures. Come on. I mean, it looks legit. Oh no, it looks totally redone.
Is it the same spot?
I don't think so because it was on the cuts. It was like on the side streets, and I remember because there was like a market. I'm Googling it right now. Jiao Long Bao. Ah, yeah, there it is. Moku Yakitori. It fucking says yakitori. You didn't even fucking read it. It's open
Ichi-
5 to 9, so it's literally open for 4 hours.
I love them.
You want to get here? You better fucking go here.
Bro,
Yeah, get down and come to this place.
Ichiraku ramen?
No, Moku.
No, I know, but the Ichiraku,
Yeah, what about it?
it says that it literally means ramen is the best pleasure. And the way that this thing came about comes from Naruto.
Yeah, Ikaku. Ikaku ramen, I think, is the name of a character or some shit.
Okay, I did not know this, so this is news to me.
Well, here we are. Moku.
Moku
Ramen. You can order online.
for
Popular.
4 hours. You got a 4-hour window.
Yeah, I need to take
Great.
James. I'll be done taking my boy James here.
That's great.
Love it. Confirmed by this business when we go. Okay, I'm glad they're fucking in session. Because they used to be closed.
Excuse me. For 4 hours.
Yeah, maybe we'll go today. Maybe we'll go today.
That's a spot. Congrats.
That's a treat. A treat.
Yeah, man.
My granola.
All right. I guess we'll end it on food.
Yep.
Well, nice chatting with you, bro.
Yeah, man. We can still chat. I just don't want to be recorded anymore.
Let's stop the recording.
Yeah. I just want to eat my food.